a sexy or modestly dressed babe. So which of these two could possibly attract a man's attention?
So yes, men are visual beings, but you have to understand that what thrills a man and what a particular man and for another man is different.
It's different.
People go to the club like, I am at the end of this club and I want to go home with somebody. In that sense, even when you get into the club, sometimes the dress is the first sign for you to know who might be willing and who follows. Dressing sexily is a communication. It's a means of communication from the ladies to someone they want to attract to themselves. It's like a predator.
Comfortable with the word decent, because the decent will allow you still be stylish,
okay,
still be, still look beautiful,
at least updated,
still look appealing. I don't know whether you understand me.
Yes.
But at the same time, you speak volume of integrity and dignity, even in your dressing. A lady will always want to sell herself.
Okay.
My choice of dressing, it depends on how I think, the kind of friends I associate with.
Yes.
So, and you cannot tell me that I'll wake up one day because I want to get a particular man who does not think or had seen that personality and has admired it, and then you just want to take me out of that space that I've created for myself.
It's impossible.
If you want a lady who is outgoing, can relate, can mingle, can represent you well, then look for it in the right place. Don't go to a club, you will not find such. If you need a club girl, go to a club. If you need a
churchy kind of girl, Mommy Gio.
Yes.
Should a lady appear sexy just to attract a man? Or as a man, you feel that a lady who dresses modestly could win your attention and your heart in all? This is Uproot the Issue podcast. Welcome, lovely viewers. A segment of podcast that is so passionate about you and cares about every issue affecting you as a person, family, and the society at large. And in today's session, we will be discussing on a sexy or modestly dressed babe. So which of these two could possibly attract a man's attention? Is it a sexy lady or one that dresses modestly? Join us as we start the conversation. In this room, I am so happy to have two social and human relations experts. With me in the studio is engineer Sylvester Morris and Dr. Fabian. I would love them to introduce themselves. So I guess let's get to know you.
All right. Thank you very much. Like you rightly introduced me, I remain Fabian.
Okay, Dr. welcome. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be here today. I am engineer Sylvester Morris.
Okay, still on the track of saving you every time, any day. Feel free to call me your host, Ikemini Ekwere. So let's jump into this conversation. So, Doctor, I would love to, throw this particular question to you. So, when we talk about a lady dressing in an enticing way, sexy, and the other that is, appearing modest, which of these two kind of ladies often or mostly attract a man?
Beautiful question. Let me start this way. Though we are told, or science, or research, or psychologists have said that men are visual beings, but we must not also lose the fact that sight challenges are different. By that, what do I mean? Another person sees things differently from the way another man sees it. Now, what am I trying to say? Different strokes for different folks. So, in essence, dressing sexily or sexy, as you may want to use it, and dressing modestly. First, for me personally, it's my opinion, the best dressed to captivate a man is first, don't lose yourself. If at all you're actually targeting the man, ensure that you're not lost. I know men are visual beings,
Okay.
but while trying to capture the man, have we lost the person trying to capture the man? So by the time you capture him, will we still have the person who captured the man? Those are questions you need to. I don't know whether you understand.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So yes, men are visual beings, but you have to understand that what thrills a man and what a particular man and for another man is different.
It's different.
But on the whole, dressing decently, I like to use the word decently. I permit me to use the word decently. Dressing decently, for me, it's okay. Because when you look at the very word sexy, it has to do with revealing your body. And if you want to start revealing your body, I know some persons will say, I'm comfortable. It's what I'm okay with.
I'm okay with.
I'm okay with that. It's my choice. I'm entitled to how I feel, to express myself. And of course, you are. No argument about that. But then, you can only entice a man who sees in that light as a good dressing. Some men, let me say this. I have a friend who was quite a decent dressed lady. But by the time a particular guy who saw her dressing decently, by the time he entered, the man changed the dressing pattern.
It's serious.
To a mini skirt, this is what thrills me, this is what I like, this is what captures me.
Okay.
But that's what captured you. What did you see in her that captured you the first time? Those are questions we need to ask. So, for me, I throw it open. It's about you. Whether you want to dress sexily or about modestly, but you as an individual, are you okay in it?
Okay. Wow. This is getting interesting. So, engineer Sly, doctor just said something about when you are dressing, you need to pinpoint that particular emphasis that you shouldn't get lost. At least you should try to understand that there's a place for individuals' differences. So whatever you are doing, don't get lost on the track. So to you, can a lady who appears modestly win your attention, turn on your attention circle?
Generally, yes. Because when we look at the dress sense, there are certain factors that influences it. For instance, we have culture, individual preferences. For instance, now, she dressed moderately. There are some values that she will attract from a man. Personality and the mode or way of approaching her will be different. You see a young lady that is dressed moderately, meaning she's not revealing her body features and at the same time not kind of churchy like corporate and all of that. There is this sense of respect that you accord her. Even when you approach her, there is how you approach her with respect and talk with her. But for the ones that dress sexy, you already know, like she said, is a visual attention and also desire of the individual involved. Because in most cases, this kind of dressing, you see them probably nightlife, clubbing, certain kinds of occasions. Those dresses are a little bit suited for those kinds of occasions.
Okay.
And for instance, now you go to a nightclub, you see somebody that is sexy. Already, your minds already tell you, this is, you know your desire. People go to the club like, at the end of this clubbing, I want to go home with somebody. In that sense, even when you get into the club, sometimes the dress is the first sign for you to know who might be willing
to join,
and who follows you. There is somebody you see dressing normal, and you can't just go and meet somebody that dress moderate.
But
you saw her in
you.
the club. At least you start reasoning. Does this one fall? Because At the end of it, no matter what you say, dressing sexily is a communication. Is a
That's
means
right.
of communication from the ladies to someone they want to attract to themselves. It's like a predator. I need this guy. Sometimes it has to do with who the individual is. Maybe physical attributes. The person say, wow, this kind of clothes will expose my physique, the beauty of who I am. They feel comfortable in dressing that way. But in a situation whereby your dress, like you said, you need to be comfortable with it.
With it.
You don't just wake up and,
Start
oh,
dressing.
because this person is dressing
Dressing.
like this, I have
You
to
have to
dress
do
that way. That is what have led to few things we see online that will say what I ordered
Versus what
and
I-
what versus what I actually got and all of that. So in my own sense, in my own way, I think dressing moderately is the best and really attracts. Because sometimes I could be with you on the streets, for instance, for my personality, who I am. Do you know that because of your dressing could actually reduce my personality or how people have rated me
okay.
and my profile? Yeah. So in the right sense, dressing sexily is just a means of communication. It's also, it has to do with fashion. In our present day, you see how these are the kind of clothes you mostly see in boutique markets and all of that. He will be influenced by this is what is trending.
Yes.
Let me go for it and all of that. But the question is, even with all this kind of dressing, are you actually comfortable? Does it really portray your personality and who you are? So at the end of at the end of it all, certain factors come into play. The individual that desires this kind of dress knows that this is what I want. But the individual that does not desire those kind of dress, there is no how you can use the dress to capture the person. Someone might admire it because in certain environment, this is unusual. So it captures attention at first. Not that you have actually attracted the person, but it is a reason for somebody to let
look.
me just look at
Look at
because
it,
it captures attention.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, what personality does this person have? Who is this person? Is she brilliant? Is she creative?
Okay.
And other factors. Those factors must definitely come into play. And at the end of the day, you see that using sexy attire to attract men can only win certain men. Because those are the set of people they desire. There is somebody that just wants, my partner must always be sexy at all times. Wherever we are, my partner will always be sexy. And because the person knows that you can deliver, then that is his weakness, and that is a medium you can always use to win him, no matter what the difference is.
Thank you very much. So I enjoy the way the conversation is going. So I just discovered that it's not only your choice of appearance, it's how you respond to the
it.
appearance. Because when you dress, there's a sense of communication there. You are trying to communicate to a guy. You know, doctor, that was what actually leads me to this particular question. You see, online has really changed things. You may get to notice, let's just give a scenario where a guy, I've been noticing this particular lady online, you know, following her up, trying to check up. And he has been having that interest to like toast the lady. Then, fortunately for them, they get to, you know, clean, they get to chat, then they get to meet on a fateful day. Now, doctor, will this lady's appearance change this interest of the guy towards her?
I agree. Yes, it's possible to change. A situation where, just like he used the word, what I ordered
versus what
I got. So by the time that what he ordered at this instance implies what he was seeing. Don't forget, men are visual beings. So what he was seeing actually captivated him or pushed the discussion online, and then the emotion was building up. It was building up to a point he wanted to bring it to birth. And that was when he said, okay, let me get to see. And at the instance of wanting to see the lady, he wanted to maybe expand that emotion. And then only for somebody to bust it with an appearance. Or increase it. You can either increase it or you bust it. So what am I trying to say? Very 100% appearance at an insight can either encourage you to continue in that relationship or just kill it there. So a situation, a lady just, I said something earlier. I was saying, I like to use the word decent. Because if you go by the word modest,
okay,
if you go by it, if you want to look at the real meaning, it has to do with covering this old school. It goes back to the Roman
way of
dressing. I don't know whether you understand.
Yes, I can understand.
So it has to do with that. So it has to be covering long, you cover everything. So I think I'm more comfortable with the word decent. Because the decent will allow you still be stylish.
Okay.
Still be, still look beautiful.
At least updated.
Still look appealing. I don't know whether you understand me.
Yes.
But at the same time, you speak volume of integrity and dignity, even in your dressing. So that's why I'm comfortable with that. So a lady who bumps into you by first meeting of you wanted to see the lady and then dress in a very funny way. My guy, you feel change my. You feel even say I couldn't make it. And change. You can say that. I couldn't make it. It's something that
your phone at that point.
A lot of people have done it. A lot of people have done it. A lot have done it.
Of someone you were dying to meet.
See you.
Okay, viewers, I don't know what's your own contribution on this. Will a sexy or modestly dressed babe actually attract you? Is it someone you need? Is it the sexy or one that dresses modestly, Mommy Gio, or the sexy one? It's okay. You can also pour in your contribution in the comment section. But please, if you are just viewing the channel for the first time, try to locate the subscription button and click on that icon so you will be updated. So we are actually, I know the conversation is getting more interesting. So let me move to Engineer Morris. You see, while we are actually looking at this whole thing of the dress sense, I believe that somehow your dress sense has a whole lot of information to convey on your personality and the whole lot of influence to attach to one's intimacy decision. So I might get to, have interest in this lady, but because of her appearance, because of our own motive, because of our value, because of our outfit, it may actually, destroy the whole interest that I must have had. So as a relation expert, which you've dealt with people and what you've observed in the society, how will one's outfit influence your choice of intimacy?
Well, personally, I'm this kind of person that doesn't want to change who another adult is. That's who I am. I take you the way you are, but if I'm okay with it, fine. But if I'm not okay with it, it's with respect to seeing somebody and the person already have her dress sense. It's now left for you to influence the change. It depends on the environment. It depends on the culture. There are certain dresses or culture that will not accept certain mode of dressing. No matter how or where you see the person that wants to change. Just like if you go maybe to the West, you see their kind of dressing, even in daytime. You see it online and it's normal. It doesn't drag attention and people don't look at it differently. But in Nigeria, we have a culture. We have a way of dressing that we said, this one is good. We have a dressing that we don't rate it as being good. So, for instance, I was with a lady, one of my friends, I think a few months ago, and she was just discussing that she traveled with her partner to an occasion in Cross River. So when they came back, they went straight to the partner's family home, where she met the mom of the guy. You know what happened?
No.
She was decently dressed, or dressed moderately. When she met the mom and they spoke, the mom asked her, "Don't you have a mini skirt, a short dress, sleeveless and all of that?"
Okay.
She said she has. The woman said, "Go and wear it." She went in, wore it, came out. The woman was like, "Check to that gate. Let me show you something." She now went to the gates. The woman now said, "Okay, come back, come back." She now came back and the woman didn't say anything. And she never knew what was the
observation at that point.
what the woman was, the intention of the woman. What brought this discussion? Few days before we had to discuss about it, she went to a salon and she was there. One woman came in and was like, okay, I think it was a seamstress shop. The woman came in and they were discussing. She was just hearing, and at a point she was like, the woman said, "That my son, though the other lady was a banker, but when she dressed skirt, you see the legs are so tiny and all of that. I can't wish that for my son." And the parents opposed it. Then she was like, this new one that I've seen, she is gallant and the physique and all of that.
Okay.
That's when this my friend now realized
The
why
intention.
the mother of her partner have to ask her, "Go and wear a sexy dress."
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
In that discussion, while we were discussing, she now said she also knows, it's a discussion. There was this man that the wife, before he got married to her, was always dressing like a churchy kind of woman, long skirt, and the man admired her for that. But after marriage, the man now told her, "You can't be wearing this. You must start using short skirt and all of that." And she was feeling uncomfortable. This was a topic for discussion. And that was where she get to learn so many things. We might have our preferences. We might have what we desire. But sometimes we find our kind of what we refer to spec in those that are not too good with respect to dress sense.
Okay.
That will not deter you because that has to do with visual attention and desires, like I said. You go for the woman. Then after you guys have settled, you can always introduce it. At least she might not totally change it, but she might want to accept some.
Okay.
Yes, because when you feel that you can't accept it, you can't change it, most time when the woman on the other end is very rigid, those are some of the things that leads to what we call side chicks nowadays. Imagine me going for a party in the evening and your wife, you want to dress in a churchy way with long gown and all of that. The party. Because she's more comfortable with that way. That was how she was raised. I wouldn't do that. You can't follow me with that. And because of that now, some guys will now have the side chick. There are certain occasions they want to go with their side chick. There are certain occasions they want to go with their wife.
Wow.
So those are also the things that contribute to having a side chick and all of that. Though I'm not saying the side chick is something that you must have as a man.
Okay.
But there is always an approach, a medium, a way of making her adjust, at least for certain things with respect to her dressing. I have a friend in my church. She mostly wear this long gown. In Oron, they call it onyoyo. And she's always dressed that way. And at some point I was like, "Why do you like this dress?" She said she just like it. But when I, inquire further, at some point she said she likes it because one, it doesn't, women with weight.
Yes, okay.
After 2 months now, she have had it. And before using all these tight dresses and it will require to go and buy another one. So she just use
That one to maintain the steez.
what, even though she's expanding and all of that. In fact, you were with me last week when I was speaking with a friend. She based in Port Harcourt. I think you heard her at some point. She was crying when she wants to wear clothes. The clothes no longer size her, and she will be crying. What is this now? And all of that. So sometimes that might influence their style of dressing.
Okay.
They don't want situation they will be going to buy new dresses at all point. Sometimes it's a family, it could be their religion, their church. Like if you are going to a deeper life church, they have their
On
style
standard
of dressing for the females. And coming in future after maybe 20 something years and all of that, for the sake of love, want to adjust, and it's something you just take it gradually. You don't just change it overnight. Yeah, you can start with the ones that are acceptable in a way for her.
Okay.
She get used to it, and after that certain points you can adjust. So it's something that can be achieved.
Wow.
Depending on the approach.
Doctor, let me fix something there, because I know where you are coming from.
No, before you fix, I don't know. It could also help you get the puzzle.
Okay.
He said something. Let me add to that. When you meet a lady, everybody, if we go back, let's not lose touch of how we started. If we go back, and if I want to use his word, every dress sense is a communication.
Okay.
And what are you communicating? One, you are communicating your beliefs, your values,
yes.
your principles. If I see a guy that is dressed in nyash level, I know that I can tell the way you are thinking. I can tell.
Like, how do you present yourself to the public?
And you cannot convince me. Just like the recent word, you argue.
You go explain tire. No evidence.
Though entertainment industry have tried to group everybody, you don't even know the irresponsible ones and the irresponsible ones. And we try to, but when it comes to a lady, we cannot mix it up. A lady will always want to sell herself.
Okay.
My choice of dressing, it depends on how I think, the kind of friends I associate with.
Yes.
So, and you cannot tell me that I'll wake up one day because I want to get a particular man who does not think or had seen that personality and has admired it, and then you just want to take me out of that space that I've created for myself.
No, it's impossible.
I'm not saying you should dwell in your 1844 kingdom. I don't know whether you understand.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
I don't say you should dwell in that. But at the same time, it's not easy to just switch somebody immediately. It's not possible.
Wow.
Go for your own folk. If you think you want, you will definitely see. Continue looking. And if a lady, don't ever try to, when you get the ladies, after you have gotten her, and then you want, she will just think that you were pretending to like me.
To like you.
Talk to her about it, even while relating. I personally, my background is quite religious.
Okay.
But then I love to look good.
Irrespective
of
your background.
I feel good.
Okay.
In my low cut, in whatever I just want to be me. That doesn't mean if I see somebody that is dressing whatever you want to do, I admire you.
Okay.
But this is who I am. So the next time you talk about Emefibian, somebody can easily tell you, I will always see Emefibian in this, in that. It is a personality I have carved for myself. Every dressing portrays an art. Every dressing speaks. If you look at it, it speaks volumes. And we must not lose touch of what they are speaking. So if you want a lady who is outgoing, can relate, can mingle, can represent you well, then look for it in the right place. Don't go to club. You will not find such. If you need a club girl, go to club. If you need a
churchy kind of girl, Mommy Gio,
yes, but in the church, please don't get it wrong. In the church, you have those attributes of girls in one person. You can find it.
Oh.
They believe in decent dressing. They also have a social life. They try to balance it. But at the same time, if that girl dress anyhow and pass here, how would you rate her?
A whole lot of communication will pass
A whole
through.
lot of communication.
Wow.
So, but when you get to know the person, try to see what her perception and why she chooses to dress
that way.
that way.
Wow.
First, that's the first step. She may be pretending. He narrated a story. You know, you made me remember something. I remember a situation. There is this young girl who, I don't want to mention church.
Okay.
So there is this young girl who was trying to, because like I said earlier, make sure most times you are trying to present what you believe in.
Okay.
That's, in other words, that's who you are.
Who you are, yes.
You get me? So now, she wasn't actually who she knew herself to be. But she was who the parents want her to be.
Okay.
And who the society would say, applaud. So she would dress in a very, very covering everything, G-O, like you rightly used the word. But there is this young guy he was dating. He was close to one environment. And then he went to see, he will always go there. But when she goes there, she will
become her usual self.
her usual self. And then she will find one uncompleted building and change up, dress in a very funny way, and then go. And I'm this kind of a person. I'm very, very inquisitive. So one day I blocked her. I said, why do you like? He said, my parents now, and this and that. I said, but do you feel okay
appearing that way?
Appearing that way. He said, yes. I said, are you sure it's not pressure? She couldn't answer. Are you convinced of what your parent is trying to tell you about dressing? Because either ways, they are trying to teach you that this is the proper way. But it's just that the society have created it. But are you convinced about it? She didn't really answer. But she continued that way. And at the end, she became something else. That's another story for another day. So the question is, are you comfortable in that personality? If she's comfortable, don't bring her out of her comfort zone. Go to your own and look for your own.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers, I love and appreciate the time you've actually spent listening to us. Dr. M. Fabian said that whatever dress sense you choose for yourself, ensure that you are so comfortable with what you are appearing, because in all, dress sense has a whole lot of responsibility to give to an art. Dressing is art, and art is dressing. It's based on your belief. While Engineer Morris on the other hand also said that dressing is the art of communication. We communicate our personality, we communicate our thoughts, we communicate our belief, and we communicate our attention towards a man or the other gender with the way we dress. This was a wonderful and fantastic conversation time. I love and I believe you gain value. Always click and always stay tuned to this particular channel. I'm always your host, and I'm very happy to be your host anytime, any day. Till next episode. Bye.